Killing people is never justified, but what is justice? Today's episode will make us seek an answer to this question. Today's story starts with one family. In 1977, a son who studied at the most prestigious high school in Japan was killed by his father. What happened to this family? Then let's look at today's case. This is the case of elite student. In February 1961, Kenichi Sato was born to a father who ran a rental office and a mother who worked with him. Both parents, especially the mother, loved their son Kenichi. Kenichi's father only finished elementary school but worked hard on his own business. 5 years after Kenichi's birth, the father started his new own business running a bar at Jimbocho in Tokyo. His business was going well. However, the parents were so busy with their job at the bar that the son couldn't spend much time with them, and he was always with his grandfather. He went to a private elementary school. At the school, he was very good at studying and he liked studying. He studied hard to pass the entrance examination for the most prestigious private combined junior and senior high school. That's why, aside from studying at the school, he went to a cram school and also studied from a private tutor. He studied a lot. Instead, since he was always studying, he couldn't make friends. Kenichi was a quiet and introverted child. He successfully passed the entry exam and entered Kaisei Combined Junior and Senior High School, the most highly competitive preparatory school in Japan. In the entrance examination, he scored a very high score and his ranking was 56 out of 300. Students who study at this school are some of the smartest ones around Japan, so it was a very good grade. He kept good grades until his second year at the junior high school, but his grades suddenly began dropping. In third year, his rank fell to 236th out of 300. Around this period, he started behaving so rudely and violently to his parents, including his favorite mother. It's said while they were on a family trip, Kenichi chased her mother, shouting to her, "I will kill you!" What is worse, several months after he went on to senior high school, his grandfather, who he respected the most in his family, died. Also, because of grandfather's death, Kenichi's brutal behavior towards his parents was escalating. He started beating and breaking stuff in his room, like poles and walls, and annoying his parents. His father suggested to Kenichi that he would never talk to him. Instead, Kenichi doesn't behave like that. But Kenichi didn't stop annoying them anyway. At that point in time, aside from poor grades at the school, he started complaining about his low nose. He blamed his mother, saying, "My nose is low because of a bad heredity from you. How dare you show your ugly face to other people?" When he was in second year of senior high school, his crazy behavior was still escalating, like he often suddenly laughed during classes. At the time, he became into reading extremely difficult philosophy books and novels. And in Japanese schools, before graduating from school, we mostly make message boards. On the board, students usually write their resolution, dream, and appreciation to their peers. But Kenichi wrote, "Death is my friend," as his crazy behavior didn't stop and it was just escalating. His father even went to the doctor to diagnose his mental problems. But at that time, mental disease was not well known in Japan. So one after another doctor just said it's just kind of selfishness and did nothing for Kenichi to be cured. Some doctors said let him act violently as much as he wants. But one doctor finally tried a treatment for him. It was ECT, electroconvulsive therapy. ECT was invented for treatment of mental diseases. After taking ECT, he was relieved temporarily, but the next day, effectiveness of ECT decreased and Kenichi again committed violent acts against his father. Then Kenichi brought a knife to kill his father. His father slightly shoved off the knife attack, but Kenichi didn't stop assaulting him. He hit his father's head with a plate. His father got injured. Bleeding was so strong. His father was sent to a hospital, and Kenichi was taken to an isolation cell of a hospital by police officers. After 2 days, his mother felt so sorry for Kenichi and asked to take him back home. After he came back home, he got outraged as strongly as before. His behavior hasn't improved. As his craziness was almost at its peak, a tragedy was almost coming to life. One day, Kenichi's father was told by a psychiatrist that Kenichi would kill people sooner or later. Kenichi's father became so afraid of him committing murder. His father didn't want to make Kenichi murderer. In the end, his father decided to kill Kenichi to become a murderer instead of Kenichi. He went to Kenichi's bedroom while he was sleeping. He attempted to kill his son several times but hesitated to commit, looking at his face. But after that, the father finally choked and killed his son. His mother came to the room later and noticed that Kenichi died and she cried loudly. His father said to her, "I will die too." They left Kenichi's body in the closet so that the grandmother who lived together with them didn't notice Kenichi's death and headed somewhere. They arrived at Shizuoka Prefecture. They went there to commit suicide but they couldn't at that night. So they decided to stay at a hotel just for one night and they were going to commit suicide the day after. Next day, they couldn't commit suicide and eventually the father went to police to confess that he killed his son Kenichi. Later, a trial started. The judgment of the father was not harsh. It was rendered a compassionate sentence, 3 years imprisonment and 4 years of suspended sentence. In other words, the father was not imprisoned despite of murder. This judgment was so compassionate to the defendant, so it surprised the Japanese public. And this family story didn't end yet. The mother of the late Kenichi was becoming harsh to the father. She often said, "Give me back Kenichi, give me back my son. I want to die. I want to go to Kenichi. Everything is your fault." She was always crying loudly. She behaved violently towards him and got addicted to alcohol. And in July 2nd, 1978, eventually she committed suicide in the room where Kenichi was killed by his father. It's not apparent what Kenichi's father is doing now, or whether he's still alive or not. But one thing is certain, that the father had a stormy life, in which he always had to select the right decision. His last decision might haven't been a perfect answer, but was there a perfect answer about that situation? What do you think about this case? Do you think everything was the father's fault? Or do you think it was unavoidable considering the situation? As for mental illness, that it was not so common as today? Please share your thoughts in the comment section. And if you liked this video, please hit the like button and please subscribe to this channel. See you in the next video.